G'day, welcome to Cuba de Rio. I'm Matt Scolle. That's the sound of a San Isidro big band that were playing for the Patron Saint Festival last week. And I just love this number, La Bamba, because we've encountered it so many times on this trip, and it's always been brilliant. We've heard it from a Guatemalan transvestite, we've heard it from a group of stone tourists banging drums on the beach. It's just brilliant every time. I don't know why this is a transcendent song, but it just happens to be. Anyway, this week we start on the slopes of Cerro Chirripo, which has been a dream of mine for so many years to climb, just because it is a magical place with such surprising sort of environments, and it's just, yeah, it's captured my attention for a number of reasons, which you'll hear later on. And yeah, I had a fantastic time climbing up that. And secondly, I got an invitation from my host sister Loana to go to her university in the western province of Limon, and I had an absolute ball there. So just keep an ear out for that, because it was just the best time. So much fun. Anyway, enjoy Cerro Chirripo, and I'll catch you later. It was an early start today. We got up at 4:30 in the morning to start our ascent up Chirripo, and it was gorgeous. There were so many birds at that time of day, and I've luckily met two great Spanish guys who are my companions for the journey. One's an alpinist, so he's very fit, very fast. I kept up with him the whole way up, and then his mate is not quite to the same physical standard, and we had to leave food along the way for him, like breadcrumbs. But yeah, it's been a great day. The jungle has been spectacular, but right now we're in a area above 3,100 metres that looks remarkably like Perisher Valley, Australia's alpine zone, because there's been a huge fire here. All the trees are burnt out, and they're covered in this like light green moss, which really typifies the alpine areas in Australia, even though that they are about a kilometre beneath where I am now. Getting up to Chirripo is definitely the easiest part of this trip, even though it's a rather exhausting long hike. I think it's maybe 14 k's from 1,500 meters up to 3,200 to the lodging up here. But the hard bit is parting with all the money that it costs you to get up here, because they don't miss a trick, the Costa Ricans. The parks and daily fee is $18, which already is about 2/3 of my daily budget. And then to stay a night here in the lodging that they've got, it's another, I would say it's 19,000 kilometers, which is very close to $50 just to stay a night in a lodge with no hot water. I think it's got Wi-Fi, but it would be very slow because it's all coming from satellites and everything. But yeah, very expensive undertaking this, but it is totally worth it. The different biomes that you walk up through are just incredible. Like the cloud forest lies some maybe 700 meters beneath where we are now, and from there onwards it is this gorgeous tropical alpine biome which exists pretty much nowhere else in Central America. This is the one place, because it is high enough with enough oxygen, and yeah, it's very special. There's gorgeous little flowers everywhere, and quite spectacular array of shrubbery. Magnificent shrubbery. Flappity flap. Just moments ago you would have heard the flapping of a Costa Rican flag, and that means I'm at the top of Cerro Chirripo, 3,820 metres above sea level, and it was a very early start this morning. I think we were on the trail by 2:50 in the morning, and we've made it to the top of Cerro Chirripo at about 4:30 in time to view a fabulous sunrise which is about maybe 20 minutes away from now. But right now, the birds have just started singing, and I've come to Cerro Chirripo because this is the culmination of a 15-year-old's dream. I had this on my list back in the day when I was in Costa Rica last, and I just didn't have the time. And now, 7 years later, we've done it. And the reason I wanted to come here is because it is one of the very few places, I think it is the only place, in fact, where you can see both coasts, the Caribbean and Pacific, from the same point. And I can certainly see the Caribbean coast there. Between me and it lies the Parque Internacional La Amistad, which is a huge area of just pure forest that is shared between Costa Rica and Panama, which lies some maybe 60, 70 k's to the south of where I am. And we were the first up here, and so you could just hear other people coming up behind me. But it's gorgeous. You can see the lights of the Central Valley of San Jose in the distance to the north there. And then you can tell where the Pacific coast is because there's a number of stormy-looking thunderclouds over there. And it's just... now I'm going to eat my my breakfast. So, yeah, this has been fantastic. The sun has just poked up above the clouds over the Caribbean side there, and I forgot to mention earlier that that walking during the night was just spectacular here because we had this most perfect cape of stars all over, all around the sky. You could see all the mountains you were wandering past, silhouetted against the Milky Way. It was just brilliant. And there were so many shooting stars. I saw about 4 or 5 shooting stars in the time that took us to get up here. And yeah, we met some people the other day actually that had done this hike in one big go and started at 9 o'clock at night, hiked through the night and got here for dawn, and then hiked back down. And they were two Dutch girls, and they said they were crying by the end of it because of the effort of doing something that huge. Would have been awful. I'm very glad I paid my $50 to stay one night because I slept like a babe. And we've come to visit the crestones, which are these beautiful granite piers just sticking out of the top of the mountain adjacent to us. And they're about 200 meters high each, and there's 5 of them. And so hopefully we can climb one with my Alpinista Spanish friends. We'll see. Well, this is certainly the coolest place that I've recorded the podcast. There are two needles on the crestones, and we're on the larger of the 2. The other is completely isolated from the majority of the group and gives a perfect view down to the H-shaped lodging that we stayed in last night. And from here you can see the serial progression really clearly from alpine vegetation that's all low scrub and everything to like alpine savanna, which is very unique to this area, all the way down to cloud forest, which is about 700, 800 meters beneath where we are now, and continues all the way down to the base camp. It's been an awesome day climbing Chirripo. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning and we've been hiking for 5.5 hours, and yeah, definitely get yourself up here. And the best way to cool down after a day like that is to jump in some thermal pools. There's some hot water springs here in San Gerardo, the town that is the base camp for Chirripo, and it's so good. It's about 27, 30 degrees. It's fantastic. I have come to the most surprising university ever. I'm in University Earth. It's my host sister Loana's university in the state of Limon. That's the Caribbean side. That's the Caribbean coast state of Costa Rica. And this university is just insane. That is the noise of a banana harvesting technique. And basically it's a long cable that leads from the 400 acres of commercially grown bananas here on the campus to a banana packing facility. And University Earth, was started by the Earth Foundation, who are an American run bunch. So most of the directors here are gringos, but it's an incredible place. It's 3,500 hectares of forest, plantations, organic farm experiments, and it's just the most gorgeous university I've been in. I'm surrounded right now by heliaconias and all sorts of gorgeous flowers. I just joined Loana on a ornamental houseplant class where we wandered around the university's grounds looking at all the different ornamental plants that are growing in it. And here goes another one of these fabulous machines. It's an engine that runs a single wheel that then drags all the bananas along the cable behind it. It's just fabulous, this place. It's like Wonka's University. It's crazy. We're in the banana factory where the bananas are washed, graded and processed. So there's a large vats of chemicals here, and it's mainly women that do the classification of bananas here. And the good ones are off to the United States in the huge amounts of boxes behind me. And then the second and third grade ones stay here in Costa Rica and sold to the domestic market. But it's so good. It's just an open factory that you can wander around with, just at ease. It's brilliant. Just attacked by an armadillo. He was just having eating a coconut, and then he attacks me. Jumped off on my fucking leg. After my terrifying run-in with that armadillo, still can't get over that. Can't believe I recorded that. I learned a bit about the farm of the university I'm on. So the grounds of the university used to be owned by United Fruit, that rather imperialistic arm of the United States that conquered much of Honduras and Central America to build huge banana plantations. And so it means that all the forest here, or the large majority of it, is all it's secondary forest, and it's all been grown in the last 25 years since Earth Foundation regained or got the rights to the land. But I'm up tomorrow morning rather early, and to help on the organic farm. It's quite a large part of what this university is about, so I'm keen to check it out. Third or fourth day straight getting up at 5 a.m. or earlier, but today it's a Sat day, and look, it's the weirdest thing because I'm at a university. It's a Sat day. You would expect everyone to be sleeping in, but no, there were about 200 students all filing away to the fields and buses that take them there to help out and work for the morning. And that's exactly what we're doing. We were cutting bamboo that had fallen over the fence of the pigs field. The pigs were so happy. They love this place, and it's just brilliant. This university. Like, I had dinner last night, and all the produce is fresh from their own farm. There's milk, and there was a guy doing his thesis on cheese, and so he brought all his samples to the table, and everyone was just eating fresh cheese. It was the best. I had 3 glasses of the milk here because it comes straight from the dairy on site, and it had little bits of fat in it, and all the bubbles sort of held together because it was creamy and so good. 3 glasses. And the only thing they don't do well here is sheep, because unfortunately for the poor buggers, the heat and the tropics do not suit them. And so they've got they're known colloquially here as the zombie sheep, because they have got the tiniest bit of wool on their backs that are all dreadlocked and nasty looking, and they just sort of hobble around 3/4 naked. It's a pretty poor sight to see. But this university, I would love to do a semester here. It's just brilliant. Learn how to do things, work on your Saturday mornings. Like, I'm very tempted to do a cheese course, to be honest. That would be amazing. Regular listeners would recognise that sound from all the way back in Cuba. We are harvesting cacao, and so what that means is you've got to split the cacao pod and then stick your hand right inside it, and then there's this sort of like string covered in the beads that are the cacao beans, and then you've got to get your fingers around the string and then strip all the beans off it. And we've been doing this for the last 40 minutes, and it's not back-breaking work, but it is tiresome, and it feels so good doing something productive. You can see the sacks of cacao coming and then turning into gigantic fermenting tanks full of all the beans that you're producing. I enjoy doing this sort of work. It's brilliant. How was that? And I still cannot believe that I got attacked by an armadillo. Like, just the most ridiculous little event, having that bastard trying to jump up my leg with people looking on. Had just so much fun at that university. It was brilliant. Anyway, so this is an interview with Loana, and it was great because, one, I got to speak to my host sister in English, and we got to reflect on all the things and goings on at the university, in addition to being able to talk to a Costa Rican about Costa Rica and all the goings on, including all the big news events, like why is there a gigantic drop in the price of the yucca root. So listen up closely, because that is a classic. Anyway, catch you at the end.
My name is Loana, and I'm Costa Rican. I'm from Costa Rica, of course.
And I'm come to visit you at your most fabulous university. What are you studying here?
Here I study agronomy, which is basically agriculture, different production systems, and livestock management.
And so you're doing your thesis here. You're in your fourth year, aren't you?
Yes, I am. My thesis is actually related more to forestry. So I'm actually measuring the different concentrations, or the ideal concentrations, on different native species of my area, my region, which is up north the country. As there's no information regarding this different species, and we're trying to establish information about it so people can know how to handle.
So what are the species that you're working with?
You want the name in Spanish?
Spanish? Yeah, sure.
All right, so we have Guanacaste, Guapinol, Gallinazo, Teca.
Which is teak wood. That's the only one I know in English.
I know the scientific names, so you need them.
No, I don't think any botanists listen.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so what's it like living in the Universidad ERT?
Well, it's an amazing thing. From the very beginning, you understand this is just something different than anything you're gonna find out there. So, people here, they become your family pretty much. You see them every day. You cry with them. You laugh with them. You eat with them. You fight with them. It's them every single day. You create such a special bond with people from different countries. You would never think of. So it's amazing, and there's a lot of opportunities. The green space, nature is big. There's a lot of green space where you can just kind of feel relaxed, and it's just really nice. To me, it's a great place to live.
Yeah, I think earlier in the podcast I described it as like Wonka's University, because it's got all these little routes for the bananas to follow, and everyone just seems like they're all working together like Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. Pretty much, I would say so, yeah.
So what do you enjoy doing most here in Earth?
Well, it is complicated because we need to get a lot of stuff done as I'm in fourth year. But I really like doing stuff with my friends, kind of just going somewhere, sitting around, maybe on the grass, just chilling, talking, eating something, sharing.
Oh
Because
my
sometimes
god,
we get
that's been the best thing about this place. Everything's fresh, and like you just eat it straight off the tree.
I
It's
know,
brilliant.
I know. It's nice because you can just go and take a walk, and then you're like, oh, why don't we just go take some rambutan, or let's go get some mangostan, and different fruits that you just know are seasonal. And you just share with people. That's what I really like. Makes the best of it.
Yeah, and what's it like living with 400 people so close? Like, that must be a bit insane at times.
You could call it a small living hell sometimes because everyone knows everything. This is just like living in a very small town, and there's a lot of gossip, of course, but at the same time, it's kind of nice because you know everyone around you. At least you know their name, where they come from, and that kind of helps you relate to them. Maybe I'm not talking to you today, like we don't usually share the same group of friends, but in the future, if we have to get together, it won't be hard for me to reach to you and talk. Okay, let's do this, let's move, let's go that way. You know, it's nice.
And the professors live on campus. That struck me as a little
Oh, yeah.
strange. So how does that alter the relationship with them compared
It's
to a normal
different.
university?
It's nice as well because it gives you a lot more opportunities to establish a relationship with the professors. I mean, they even invite you sometimes to go to their houses and have some coffee, just chill. And then, like, if they're from your same country, because there are different professors from different countries, of course, you get together and cook the same typical dishes you would eat back home or stuff like that. And I mean, they are there to guide you if you're still working on a project on a weekend. Some of them are very accessible, so you just tell them, Prophet, yo, I need to meet you, I need to talk to you about something, and they will come to you, explain to you, and even go with you to the field. So it's a very complete relationship, I would say.
It's awesome. I'm so impressed with this university and how it works. I don't know what's the food like here? Because
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
I gained a lot of weight, so it's just
go
really,
for it. You're not interrupting anything.
it's delicious.
We'll hit pause. And we're back because we set up shop in like the main eatery here. So I can't even remember what we were talking about before. So let's move on to something else then. What's it like? What's the student life like here? Parties, all that.
It's well, this is supposed to be a dry campus, so you're not supposed to drinking here. However, as everyone knows, you always get other stuff without other people noticing. So it's interesting. I mean, you're always kind of on a rush. You're always kind of trying to get your stuff done for your class, or you have a meeting, or you have to go with your professors that are assessing your projects and stuff like that. You always have something to do, though it's related to studies or not regarding the university. But we are very far from the nearest town. We're around 8 kilometers far. So there's a bus that actually comes in every Tuesday night and every Friday night, and they come and get us. So of course they charge you for the bus and stuff, and then you go there, you party hard, and then they drive us back, and everyone just walks back to their rooms, trying to survive. And next day we always have
Being
to get up
attacked
early.
by armadillos
Yes.
on the way back to their rooms.
Exactly.
Oh, brilliant. No, I was so glad that Prince was hungover this morning. And Prince was one of the blokes helping us, because I didn't believe it when I saw like 200 students at 5:30 in the morning with all their tools over their shoulder on a fucking Saturday. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, how's things in Costa Rica now? Because I rarely get the chance to speak to local people.
Regarding what? General or?
What's I don't know, what's its future looking like at the moment?
Ooh, that's complicated.
That's a huge question,
That's
I know.
a big question right there. Well, we're kind of isolated here in the university, which is a problem because you don't concentrate on the outside world. But nature related. We have this volcano pretty close from us. Everyone's pretty much going crazy because it's being
Erupting, yeah.
Yeah. So there's lava coming out. Some people have kind of seen it. Some crops that are really close from the volcano have been affected for the ash and the fumes, the gas, and everything. So people is kind of freaking out because this hasn't happened in many years. At least not this active. The volcanoes are not this active, though they are. Politics related. There have been some, what do you call it, like a strike, like people coming out on the streets and
protests.
Protesting, and because there's a huge problem with their taxes and people is just paying too much, and the government it's going to, let's say, punish the public salaries, the salaries for the public sector of the government. Let's say people that work in education, people that work for the hospitals and other institutions, and they're going to lower their salaries because we are on a
because
deficit.
You don't like paying taxes, and there's a horrible deficit given thanks to the social security budget and all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of corruption.
Yeah.
It's hard. So it's kind of hard to think what's going to happen. As everyone thinks that every 4 years there's going to come an answer with every new
more security,
president,
more jobs.
But at the end, some things get to ease, and some other things are just worse.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Well, then the future's a hard question to answer. What about the last 7 years then? What's been the big changes in that period?
Good question again. 7 years. How old was I when 7 years ago?
You'd just come back from Belgium.
Oh, yeah, that's
exchange.
true.
Yeah.
That's when you were here as a student. That's when we got Laura Chinchilla as a president, I think.
Yeah, that was the
just
year
right
that Chinchilla came in, Costa Rica's first female president.
Big hopes for her.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out right. Yeah, it was messy.
Yeah.
Again, the country keeps owing a lot more money.
Yeah. Incredibly, that political party couldn't even get a candidate to the presidential elections the following time. Like the current president, what's his name, Luis
Guillermo Solis.
He was the only name on the ticket, which is ridiculous. When people go to the ballot papers and have only one person to vote for, it's a very interesting situation.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to explain. I guess I've stayed outside the circle of things going on and actually realizing, so I wouldn't be able to explain it in big words or just to be too certain about it.
Well, then let's bring it back to something you will know about.
For sure.
Why is the price of yuca fallen so much in Costa Rica?
No, you don't want to talk about that.
Yes, I do.
Oh my God, it's bad. It's even ridiculous that people are so senseless.
Can we take it back to the beginning event, please? There was a 55-year-old man who stuck an 18-inch yuca root up his bottom. And it was filmed by one of the surgeons, which is a horrible breaking of trust between patient and doctors. But it's caused a cataclysmic drop in price for the cassava root, the yucca plant. Insane. What do you think's behind that?
People and their ignorance. You would pay, let's say, for 100 colones or 300 colones for a kilo. That's a lot less than what a producer needs to get a revenue from the crop he's been taking care of for 10 months. It's senseless. And It's just people not willing other people to see them doing it because they think they're gonna laugh, they're gonna say something.
Yeah.
So it's a childish
Pablo
action.
had a very interesting analysis of it in that he said there was like there's homophobic undercurrents
Of
to it
course.
because it went up a bottom rather than a vagina. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just insane. But no, we were talking about it in the bus, like the fact that you guys put your hands to you guys are working in the fields. You understand the amount of effort that goes in clearing a cane field or even pulling out the innards of a cacao plant. Like you understand the value of the work that goes into basic everyday products way more.
It's not an easy job.
No.
It's getting up early in the morning. It's being out there though. It's too hot, too sunny, or if it's rain's falling like today, it rained on us, and people they gotta keep on working because there's a lot of uncertainty in agriculture, and that doesn't make it bad. It just gives you a harder.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, I mean you have to be ready. You're always gonna have to have a plan B. What am I gonna do if this doesn't work? I mean, being there and doing it and then realizing how little they paid for the things that have costed, of course, not only the plants and the animals a lot, but you as a person a lot, or the producers themselves. It's nasty.
Yeah. And especially like, I don't know, yeah, we were talking earlier about how like all the things I do on my trip just sort of like fold in on one another, and the fact that I'm reading this fantastic book called The Open Veins of Latin America at the moment, which is brilliant, and about the like waves of exploitation that have affected this continent and still do today. It's crazy, and I think agriculture has been one of the places where that's been most like poignant or salient. I can't even remember the word in English. Whoops.
Yeah, you may say it in Spanish.
Yeah, agriculture's been one of the industries that have been most affected by that overexploitation.
Oh yeah. The poverty of soils these days is just. It's a big problem. People just really don't realize that it's not dirt what it's under their feet. It's living matter, and that's what feeds you every day, because plants hold on to soil mostly, like bigger crops that feed people all over the world. You need soil for that. And throughout the years, these extensive crops and these huge companies that come and just do whatever they want, and they still do. Pineapple companies, banana companies, they just come to different Latin American countries and they rent a piece of land, they do their crops and everything, and they don't even care about legislations because they have the money to pay for the ridiculous amount of fines that they will get if someone says something. And then when the soil is not longer useful, they just leave.
Yeah.
Leaving a lot of social problems like unemployment and environmental problems, like, I mean, not even being able to use the soil. You have to go back to, you have to restore it, you have to do a lot of stuff. And this is not a big country.
Yeah.
It is not, you know that well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's crazy. On a final note then, why do you think it is that people are coming back to agriculture?
What do I think about it?
Why is it happening? Is it just, yeah.
Again, it's a lot of things. People is slowly starting to realize that just by living in a city puts them in danger. What if something happens and they wouldn't have anything, not even a piece of land to grow anything to eat for themselves? What if a supermarket closes and leaves? I mean, if that's the only thing they have around, what they're gonna do? There's gonna be a scarcity of food, and that's probably gonna happen in the future. I mean, we gotta be ready. So people is slowly understanding that this is something they need to know about. At least just a small piece of land for them to start growing their own stuff. And as well, like on different countries and even here, sometimes there's not enough job offers for people that became professionals.
Yeah.
Usually young people. and they understand they have to go back.
So this,
Back
the
to the
service
place
industries aren't.
so wanted to
Yeah.
leave from. People
Yeah.
are starting to value agriculture a lot more, and I hope this leads us in a good way, in a good path.
I think it certainly will. So, do you think I'll survive the apocalypse when I come back to University Earth and learn how to make cheeses in the
I think you
future?
probably will. You'll be covered. You'll be like, okay, I know how to survive for a few months.
Yeah, I've got my white cheese here. Anyway, cheers, and thank you for inviting me to your fabulous university.
Pleasure,
Great.
pleasure.
And that's it for yet another week. If you like the show, make sure you follow us on the Facebook page, because that's where I'm putting up all my photos, including some fabulous ones this week of all the brilliant micro alpine plants that you find up there in Chirripo. Just, some really pretty stuff. Anyway, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you also spread the word, tell a mate, because that will help us boost our numbers. We always need it after these long breaks that I leave, because we're growing, but we're pretty small, guys. We're pretty small. Yeah, and make sure you leave a review on iTunes as well, because that helps us out as well. Anyway, next week we will be tearing through Panama. There's been a big development in my trips design over the last couple of weeks, in that number one fan and friend of the show, Chloe, my girlfriend, is coming down to the continent in mid-June, so I need to get down to Ecuador. So that's put it amazingly. When you travel for a year, it's put a bit of time pressure on my usual steady pace of bumbling around. So I do need to step things up. So Panama's gonna be squeezed a little so that we can maximise our time throughout Colombia. So yeah. Anyway, looking forward to that. We'll have someone to travel with for 5 weeks, a co-host even a co-host. Now that's something else entirely. Anyway, alright, well, make sure you stick around for that, because only good things to come. See you in Panama.